What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What is going on? Good morning. Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. I'm John Hansen. It is Wednesday, October 22nd. We got our guy Thomas Tipple, Tommy T-Bone over there, and he is the kind of co-host. He is the what do we call you, the wall bouncer. We bounce things off of you, sometimes the voice of reason, Mr. Dynasty. Speaking of Dynasty, by the way, since I did not plan on your boy did move to 8-0 in the Fantasy Points Dynasty League. I'm literally beating everyone's ass, so thank you to Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, and just never give up on Dynasty, because my team was dead 2 years ago. Dead. I got like 3 wins on the season. I had no Javonte. I had JT, and Mahomes doing, non-Mahomes type things. But that is looking good, Thomas. Your Toronto Blue Jays are looking good. Let's get your thoughts real quick here at the Tippy. Are you going to be satisfied with winning the AL pennant, or are you going to be, where are you going to be if they lose to my Dodgers?
I think ring culture has ruined sports, Guru, because I think if the Jays don't win, people and fans are going to say this season was a failure.
Right. How?
You just played one of the most electric Game 7s in MLB recent history. George Springer hit, by statistically, the most valuable home run in playoff history, or in ALCS history. Enjoy that, right? Yeah, you should enjoy this as a fan. I'm not going to throw a pity party. I'll be upset if we can't play. We've played well. We played the Dodgers well this year in LA.
So did the Brewers, by the way. So did the Brewers, by the way.
Sure. I think the Brewers were a little bit more Billy Bean, a little bit more Moneyball than Toronto is. Toronto has pop.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't think Milwaukee has pop, but I'm just excited as a fan. It's a moment that I'll have forever, watching that home run. Wife was here. It's just, I'll never forget it. So no, I'm not gonna be sad. I think ring culture ruined sports.
I feel a little guilty, having obviously the payroll and Ohtani. I mean, I feel a little guilty, honestly.
Toronto's got the 5th highest payroll in baseball.
Good.
We're not walking out. That's the one thing. Again, fans are like, this is a Billy Bean team. Yeah, if he had $250 million in payroll, right? We're not, Springer's making 25, Goss is making 25, Bassett's making 20, Hoffman's making 15. Guerrero signed $500 million that kicks in next year. We're not out there.
Good. All right. Good.
Jimenez makes more money than Muncy, I believe. He makes $140 million. It's just, okay. I think, again, that stuff, media, ring chasing, you're a fan. Enjoy you're not on the team. So enjoy the moments that you get with them. In 32 years, literally the first time in my adult life. So I was 5 the last time I was in the stadium for a championship.
Oh my goodness.
So
wow.
Well, enjoy it, everybody, and must watch TV for both sides. I mean, Guru, one more storyline in this game is the revenge of the Ohtani plane gate.
Right.
So just enjoy it, guys. Just enjoy. But keep Drake away from the Blue Jays, for the love of God, please. That guy curses every Toronto team he pretends to root for.
Oh, Drake. Is he like that the Joe guy from the Yankees? That guy's awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Get him out.
Come on, Dan. Go away. All right. Well, we'll get into football. I do find it ironic. Oh, Paul Molitor? I love me some Paul Molitor. I do find it ironic, though, that I had a friend who, all through fantasy, a gentleman by the name of Rob Godfrey. I don't know if you know that name, but if you Google it, you'll see that they're very close to the Toronto Blue Jays organization. He invited me and my 2 youngest kids, this is before I had the twins, to Toronto to a bunch of games, because my son was a pitcher and he was a big Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling guy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this was early. This was like '04. So we went on the field. I'm hanging out with my boy Frank Catalanato, who was on the Blue Jays and a subscriber. I convinced him to draft Antonio Gates the year before, and he won his league. So I'm hanging on the field with my kids. It was a great experience. My son was 4 years old. He asked JP Ricciardo, the GM, if he had a pencil in the dugout, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man, I don't have it." But we met. By the way, I showed you the picture. We met Carlos Delgado, nicest guy in the world, and he was, I believe, at the time the reigning AL MVP. So I do find that ironic. But I have a photo of my son when he's 10, and he's 6'3", with Randy Johnson in the dugout. And my son's standing and Randy's sitting, and Randy's still taller than him. But I thought that was impressive. But I don't have, honestly, a ton of content coming up here on this here live stream. I think we can do a little bit more Q&A.
Sure.
We are getting into that the doldrums, basically, and this is why I've been talking about November. And I guess we got one more week before November, but I'm going to be focusing a lot more on unders. Didn't have a great week on my low end props this past week. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now, my top 5 props, if you're interested, are doing very well. So just to look at the top 5. I mean, do you need more than 5? I can't help myself but to put out a bunch. But like, for example, like Sterling Shepard. Come on, dude. You caught 7 balls. You can't get to 31 yards on 7 catches? Troy Franklin, same deal, like 32 yards. You got 10 targets, dude. I mean, it's unbelievable. But anywho, I don't have a lot in terms of the trade market. I mean, because I did my normal scrub, looking at every team, and it's just not that much that's popping. I will say, I put in the article, I looked just roughly out of, let's say, 180 plus potential skill players. I only see 40 who are like pretty much money in the bank. And of the 40, I isolated a list of 20 that, like, these guys should be pretty much untouchable at this point. Mahomes, Allen, Lamar for now, JT, Bijan, Gibbs, Javonte, Jacobs. I threw Kyron in there, even though he's a little sus. Cook, Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, Puka, JSN, Rice, Amon-Ra, Devontae, McBride, Warren. Honestly, if you have anybody else, I still would be willing to trade. Christian McCaffrey, if I had him at this point, I'd probably not do anything, but I don't think he's untradeable. Could be wrong. Obviously, I've been wrong up until this point, but this has happened a lot. I remember one year Cooper Kupp, I was like, no. And then through like week 8, he was crushing, and then he got hurt, and then it was a disaster. So I wouldn't be opposed to trading him, but most likely I'm just hoping for the best. I'm going to church and I'm lighting a candle, but I don't really. I mean, I put a couple low end guys that I'd buy low on, like, and I don't even love them, but I mean, I'm just saying it's a small opportunity for like ETN. I know Tootin played a little bit more, but remember, Thomas, after that big game in week 1, I'm like, sell ETN, get out, sell. And he's been terrible for 3 weeks, but I do like the schedule. And then Pacheco, I understand that's another one where it probably isn't going to be great with Brashard Smith coming on, and Kareem Hunt can't be denied. But I do like the matchups: DC, Buffalo, Denver, Indy, Dallas, Houston, Chargers, Titans, and Broncos. Nothing unbelievable, but I kind of just like see a bunch of volume opportunities there and some good matchups. Bucky Irving, I think, is a pretty obvious one. Here's one that I thought was somewhat non-obvious, but again, it's not great. Khalil Shakir. I think the Bills, and I wasn't really into Shakir this summer, and he hasn't been as good as last year. I did love him last year, but I just think that they're dying and they're looking, other than Dalton Kincaid, no one thought that he would be kind of an identity. They don't have much to hang their hats on. I never liked Keon Coleman ever, and he's not any good. I always do like Josh Palmer. He is good, but not good enough. So I'm just looking at Khalil Shakir with some matchups. A lot of them are zones. You don't want him against man-heavy teams. And maybe maybe he starts getting a little bit of an uptick as they're looking for something to kind of cling to on a weekly basis in their passing game. And I understand that they've been the opposite of that, but maybe that's one of the reasons why they're not doing all that well. I do think guys need go-to guys, basically. Yeah. I remember that year in Buffalo, Josh Allen just clinged to Cole Beasley. Remember that year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah. I think you're right with Shakir in a sense that, like, look, we're in week 8, right? And most teams know what they are now. I think the opportunity in a redraft perspective, the opportunity to buy without it being viewed as like a vetoable trade, even though you shouldn't veto deals.
Right.
I saw a deal that involved Kendre Miller in a redraft league pop up in my timeline. I was like, he's on season-ending IR. Like, what? I don't understand. So it's hard to trade for anybody that you're like, who do I need that will win my league? Yeah. That's where being early matters a lot. But guys like Shakir are often kind of spat on. They're pushed down the board when people don't realize, look at how many bye weeks there are this week. It's insane. You've got injuries, underperforming. Khalil Shakir netting you a 10 to 12 point week may look awful, but in your flex spot, what more can you ask for on a bipocalypse, injury-riddled offense being down type season? And if he does happen to pop for that 17-point game like he did against New Orleans, 14.5 like he did against Miami, and even 11 versus New England, I mean, you got Carolina. I don't see a lot happening with him in Carolina unless they want to just come out and dummy them. But you had a game against Kansas
Carolina's
City.
Zone heavy, though. He should do well this week. He'll catch 6 balls.
Yeah, exactly. But there's your 10 to 12 points. So there's your you're not getting that upside swing. But if you want to look at, say, upside, you've got Kansas City. They're going to want to make a statement with Kansas City.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, healthier, could be
absolutely
a shootout.
Yep.
So
Miami's a good matchup.
Week 17, Philly. Week 15, New England. Cincinnati can run up points.
Exactly.
So he's definitely somebody that you can sit there and if you've got
basically, do you want the number 1 wide receiver for Josh Allen?
Well, I look at it. I look at even as more as like we need to value the 10 to 12 point players more than we do every year. And then we sit here and we're like, oh man, if only I just drafted Wandale at the end of my drafts.
Right.
Well, you know who's a nice consolidation prize? Khalil Shakir, who's often again not talked highly of and kind of left for dead. So I love that pick. I just think it is a perception problem with players that only regularly score 10 to 12 points. We should be embracing more of those guys. Look how much Jaden Higgins was drafted. Jalen Noel was drafted. How useful have they been when you look at it, you're like, man, Wandale, Keenan Allen, all available generally after those players just when being
filling
drafted.
Some holes.
Yes.
Filling some holes.
Appreciate the 10 to 12 point players, and when they hit that upside, watch it cash in.
Hey, look, I'm all about upside wins championships and all that.
Right.
Scott Bear, that's literally been my deal for 30 years. So I hear you, but there is something to be said for picking up some good table scraps and all that.
Yeah.
I put Jameson Williams on the list, but I am waving the white flag. I give up. Generally give up. I started a thing on the VSiN prop show where I've got a DNP list, and it doesn't stand for did not practice. It stands for do not play, and he's on the list after he goose egged my ass last week. But in a competitive league where, some competitive leagues where maybe got an extra flex, maybe it's a 14-teamer. There are guys like J-Mo where you're like, I know he's volatile. I'm just going to take what he gives me every week. And if you can do that down the stretch, Minnesota, DC, Philly, Giants, Green Bay, Dallas, Rams, Steelers, Minnesota again, I do like that schedule, but I do give up on J-Mo, man. And it's not, I don't even know if it's his fault. Probably isn't. They're just too damn good. Now that defensive performance, Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over it. Like I lost a couple props. I mean, because friggin' Rashad White and Sterling Shepard can't turn 11 catches into like 52 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do it against that defense. And very, very impressive. But, between their running game, the two-headed monster, Amon-Ra's going to eat. They got a good tight end. Like, they're too good.
Yeah, he's also just limited. Like, we can talk about, they're doing so much cool stuff with them. They're not going to run the offense through him because Amon-Ra is unbelievable and Jahmyr Gibbs is unbelievable.
Yep.
He is the complementary piece to have. If something were to happen to Amon-Ra St. Brown, I genuinely believe Jameson Williams would go insane.
Right.
But you're right. They don't need him every week.
They don't need him.
It's
like a luxury item. He's a luxury.
Exactly. They paid a good player. He is a really, really good player, but he is kind of touchdown or bust. Did you know he's got 2 games this year of 18 points? He's got an 18.8 and an 18.6 point game and has not surpassed 7 fantasy points in PPR in any other game this year.
He's like the modern day Deshaun Jackson at this point, basically.
Right, but without the 30-point upside.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's there, but the 30-point upside is like 18-point upside with him.
Yeah, he didn't hit 30 fantasy points once last season in PPR, and he did not hit 30 fantasy points in 2023. He's never given you the 30-point upside, and he has hit 25 fantasy points one time. So
exactly.
the upside is interesting with him.
Yeah, because they're too good. And maybe they're in a shootout where Goff throws it 50 times, but if they do, Amon-Ra's getting 14 of those puppies.
Exactly.
And freaking Laporta. So, and then the backs in the backfield. I did win a Jahmyr Gibbs prop on Monday night. That was fairly easy.
Coastal Chris, he's like too good. They ain't getting the bag much. I think in a way you're right. And I also just think they're not messing. You notice this year, Detroit, and I have to ask Brett, it feels like they're not messing around as much. Right? They're not, the Chicago game, I felt like there was a little stank on it, right? They were up 3+ scores and chucking it deep to Jameson. I felt like that was a little bit of a flip the bird to Ben Johnson, but they're not messing around. They're not running up scores as much. They're not putting foot to throat because of how in my opinion, and again, I'd have to ask Brett, this is a hashtag real football take that I don't have often, but they're not putting their players in as much risk as they were trying to like set the tone and establish we are the Lions. They are. So maybe it's a second half thing. I agree that we should be paying attention and maybe picking up. It could be a second half thing, but just got to be careful with the Jameson Williams elite upside because it's even been limited, even in a Deshaun Jackson standpoint. Fun player. Wish he was a little bit more involved, but that's my Jameson Williams.
I was into him this year, but I don't think as much as others. I think others were
not.
Really pushing it too far. I was not there. Like, I'm like, I have him at like wide receiver 21. I think it's an upside wide receiver 2. But again, I keep going back to what Brett has said, though. Our guy, Brett Whitefield, went to like 14 training camp practices and witnessed them doing a multitude of things with JMO that they have not done yet. So we are probably still, I think they're holding off on some things, maybe even for the damn playoffs, quite frankly, because they've already proven a lot and they're good again this year. It really is all about, can you take that next step? So why show your hand when you're doing well without it? I'm still into trading low and buying low. I guess it's last chance saloon on your Ravens, Thomas. But what is the latest on Lamar Jackson? Is it suspect for this week? I see.
Yeah, I imagine it is, and I had to go back and forth with our guy Brett Whitefield a little bit. There's quit on the team type stuff. If he's hurt, he's hurt. Right. But I think what you're going to hear coming out later is he's over Harbaugh. I haven't said, look, I get called a crazy Ravens fan all the time, but I have my finger on the pulse of this team. Like, You can see his frustration every single week when he plays, decision making, just everything. You can even see it when he's not suited up in games, how frustrated he's getting. I think he is unhappy.
Real
I
quick,
think he
how
is.
could Lamar? Wait a second, though.
Mhm.
That does not compute with me whatsoever. Maybe Harbaugh's made some mistakes or whatever.
Some of the worst possible, yeah.
Yeah, but how in the wide world of sports is Lamar Jackson complaining about his coaching staff when the dude literally threw 41 touchdowns versus 4 picks? I mean,
He's not mad at Todd Monken.
okay, all right.
So if you look at it this way, John Harbaugh has the most losses of any head coach when leading 10 points or more in the fourth quarter since he became a head coach. They have the most multi-touchdown blown leads in the second half. He's stopped being aggressive. Do you remember last year they did the polls to see it was like a secret player poll. What coaches do they feel prepare their players, like the facility grades, all that stuff. Baltimore had one of the worst grades for preparation.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah.
What about Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator?
Get him out.
He's more of a problem than Harbaugh. It's got to be.
Well, the problem with Harbaugh is he doesn't make that adjustment that he needs to. I think the Baltimore Ravens have lost their identity. Well, this was a smash spot for Derrick Henry. Why didn't we give him the ball more? And John just goes, oh, well, it's just kind of the plan. It's how the game worked out. No, say what you need to say. It is right. It is.
Well, let me ask you, let's get to the crux of the matter as you're Mr. Raven.
Yeah.
Are they going to flip the switch and turn this positively, or does it further get bad?
No, I think Lamar Jackson is sitting the rest of the year by week 16 if they don't go on a run. I think Derrick Henry could end up in the same way as they preserve him. Preserve him for next year. They need to go on a God tier run to be relevant. Now the schedule lines up.
I mean, they will go on a God tier run. They
will need to, but
they're going to win their next 6 at least.
They need Lamar to play this week. I think he still could, but I'm telling you, it is a Harbaugh issue. I know who I want on that team as the head coach. As Brian Flores would be my pick. You've got Monken calling the offense already. You need to fix the defense there for sure. But
I think they can win 9 in a row.
It's bad.
I think they can win 9 in a row.
Yeah.
Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, New York Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots. They can win all those 9 games. Then New England week 17 is going to be tough, but I see them winning 9 in a row.
Yeah, they would definitely need the Steelers to fall off a cliff, and then
they're beatable. They're beatable. They're not.
Yeah, so I'm interested, but I mean the chat here, and by the way, we see the super chats. We're gonna get to it after we have our hang. We're gonna get to all the super chats. We're gonna do Q&A stuff today. Trust, it's gonna happen. He lets so many bad calls fly. So many poor decisions and never changing it. It was the Gus Edwards should have gotten more carries against Kansas City and didn't. Right. It was not going for it in week 1 this year when they could have put the game away.
Harbaugh doesn't call the plays.
But if you're the head coach, you should have the game plan. Let's go. Early in Harbaugh's career in 2019. Right. In 2019, do you remember the infamous, it was Baltimore 4th and 1. It was on their own 31, and John Harbaugh is screaming to Lamar, "Do you want to let's go? Do you want to go for this? Do you want to go for this? Let's go." He was what Dan Campbell is today in going for it and 4th down for the most part with Lamar because he knew what he had. The Raiders game last year when they ran 3 safe calls and punted it and they lost that game, inexcusable. Should have been fired that day to be that careful, and they did it again this year. Against the Bills when they ran 3 safe plays and punted. He doesn't learn. He hasn't learned. He's lost the locker room. Wow. I think he's gone. I think he's gone.
Well, I would imagine he's built up a pretty good reservoir of goodwill with Bishotti and all that, and that's why he's still there. Real quick, I'm fine with trading away DeAndre Swift. He has been good, but Monungai looked good. So maybe we're going to settle into a dual backfield there, and Swift will be a little hit or miss more so than he's been. I don't love the matchups overall. Green Bay, Philly, Cleveland, Green Bay again. That's a pretty nasty run right there. Jalen Warren, I'm okay with trading him. Not a must trade, but I'm okay with it. Travis Hunter, I'd sell. I know our guy Scott Barrett is feeling good about the role. The role looks amazing the last 2 weeks. I think I was 2 weeks early on him because I liked him 2 weeks ago and he went off this past week. But I don't really like the schedule. I don't trust the quarterback and all that. So I'd be fine with selling high on Hunter and Kelsey. That's a pretty obvious one there. But yeah, that's about all I have. Starting out my research on week 8. I've definitely started. I actually have a couple of props that I like. That I've already submitted to put up on the site, which it's not there yet, but I do like Lad McConkey tomorrow to go over. And I think I'm definitely going to do it. I'm going to go under on Gadsden because that number's big. It's like 42.5.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big number.
It is.
In a short week.
He has been phenomenal, and I love tight ends. But again, Dynasty we're buying, but in season, you're rolling the dice with those every time. I agree with you on the DeAndre Sifting, 20.8 fantasy points per game over his last 3. But my guy, Rutgers legend, Kyle Monungai.
Monungai rhymes with fun guy. So let's go.
I love him. Siphoned 38% of backfield carry shares in 2 of the 5, and got 2 of the 5 touches inside the 10 since the bye week. It looks like they're ramping him up a little bit. He looks good.
He looks explosive.
We might get another late round Rutgers guy. And again, DeAndre Swift better in games that they win, and they are not scheduled to win, or they're not favored to win too many games moving forward. So I think you are 100% right on the DeAndre Swift thing. He is on Market Report Guru. We tend to call them fat ass running backs because they're not, the apple to everyone's eye. They're not the runway models. They're not the
right. Yeah.
But those 10-point running backs, they can really end up mattering. So those guys like Monungai can pick them up a little early. I think you're locked in. I love that call.
To your point, by the way, I wrote about Monungai. Oh, no, that was in the waiver wire report. But basically, I'm like, there's 34 running backs right now averaging double-digit fantasy points per game. It's kind of high number. I'm like, I think there's a chance Monungai could make it 35.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agent Terrell Jennings is worth picking up on that waiver wire. I know it sounds like a meme, and the Trevion Henderson thing, there's no way it can be real. Vrabel is the kind of guy that when he gets an idea, if this is he called him his 5-minute back. Oh. If this is the guy going to be running those hurry up offenses in the Drake May offense, Terrell Jennings could be a valuable waiver wire add. You should be adding him. I know it's a meme. I know we want Trevion. I'm in full blown. We do this on Dynasty Points. We call it the Pyramid of Panic. I am in the Pyramid of Panic with Trevion. He is at the peak of the pyramid for me. So Terrell Jennings should be attacked on the it's gonna get clipped out of context. He should be heavily targeted on the waiver wire.
I see that he was on the team last year.
Yes,
before Vrabel, up and down from the practice squad out of Florida A&M. Pretty good size there. We all overvalued Trevion Henderson. We all fell for it. But at the end of the day, I think I got to go Josh McDaniels being a hard ass on it, honestly.
Could be.
Period. Like learning from Belichick. They don't hand rookies anything. If anything, it's maybe they make it harder on rookies. Like you really need to show a lot to get on the field. I always do bring up James White. Love James White coming out of Wisconsin. I remember the first year, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? They're not using him. Well, then they did because he got some experience. But I will say I gave up on listing Trevion as a buy low.
Yeah.
I gave up.
Yeah, it's a shame. We talked about this with Jacob Gibbs last night on Dynasty Points, and I likened even Kyle Williams kind of in the same way, where any player that gets drafted to the Drake May offense with Josh McDaniels is now going to get a boost in ADP alone.
Yeah.
We saw it with Polk and Baker last year. Now we saw it with Kyle Williams and then Trevion. Do I think Trevion Henderson was a good back? Yes. I was a Judkins over him kind of guy.
Yeah.
But we could definitely see and should have seen the possibility that maybe, just maybe, a bell cow role is not actually in his future, but with the blinders being on of Drake May, that made it very tough. So that's something with him.
You also have a couple of Butterfinger guys playing above him over, under Mike Vrabel, but they're letting Rhamondre get away with fumbles. I would not have expected that.
And then quoted as saying the running backs are worried too much about ball security. Did you see that quote?
Yeah, yes, I did.
For all the fumbling, we're like, they're definitely going to punish him for this and give. No, it's like, no, they're worrying about it too much. Fumbling is not. He said fumbling is not on one person. A person could miss a block that could lead to a fumble. And I'm like,
okay.
All right.
Never heard that one before. I've been doing this for 30 years. I never heard that one before.
Watch out for Rhamondre and a contract extension. I think if that happens, the entire Twitter sphere of fantasy football will burn. But yeah, it is. Rhamondre's not going anywhere.
He screwed me over too, because if you read Hansen's hints last week, I liked him a lot, and I would have played the over on the rushing prop. Here's the problem. I did it early in the year. He fumbled and didn't get it. So I'm like, can't do it. What do we have here from the people? Let's get into the Q&A here. To the people first, of course, the super chats end up going first, but don't worry, we'll run through. We'll definitely get through these. Taylor Thornton dropped the 499. Should I trade away Waddle or Garrett Wilson for Flowers? Worried about the quarterback situation in Miami and New York. Yeah, I'd go Waddle. I'm okay with that. Yes, I would. Zay Flowers let me down in his last game. He was on the injury report, with a shoulder. Yeah, I would do it. I would. I mean, look at Waddle.
I would trade Waddle before I trade Garrett Wilson.
Yes, because Tyrod will be fine.
Yeah, Tyrod's going to be okay.
He's going to be fine. Tyrod will get – Wilson will average 6 catches if healthy with his massive role. He'll get 6 catches every week for like 68 yards. And if he scores, now he goes off. But even then, if he doesn't, it's still solid.
Remember last year, at the end of the year, against Buffalo, when Rodgers was benched, Tyrod came in and hyper-targeted Garrett Wilson immediately for a touchdown. He can run the offense.
Yeah, I like Mason Taylor last week.
Yeah.
Dude was goose-egging us.
Yeah.
And then Tyrod came in, boom, immediately got a ball to Mason Taylor. And then he ended up with 3 for 31, playing like 50% of the snaps. So if you get 100% of the snaps, all of a sudden Mason Taylor, now he's got 5 grabs for 49, and he hits all the props. And he has a solid day. So hey, thank God for Tyrod. Thank God. And that was the reason why I stayed in on Garrett Wilson. In my article, I'm like, draft plan, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know Fields stinks, but we have a better backup this year in Tyrod. So it looks like, based on Woody Johnson, the man named after an erection, based on his comments, it looks like we're going with Tyrod. Yeah, and we didn't even really touch on that one too much, but I like it. I don't think Waddle is quarterback proof in the same way that somebody like Wilson can be. Exactly.
Look at Garrett Wilson's quarterbacks over his career, and he is
ass.
Terrible and in bad offenses.
Wilson is a stud.
Has been good. He's amazing.
Is a stud.
So yeah, don't trade away Garrett. I like the idea of Flowers. If Guru is right, and I'm just being a pessimistic Ravens fan, and the Ravens do go on that run, Flowers is going to be involved. Our guy Rob Milner dropped the 2 here. Would you trade Judkins and Tet to acquire James Cook? Wide receivers are Jefferson, JSN, Rice, Tet, and Pearsall. Backs are Jacobs, Judkins, JSM, and Tootin.
Right. Damn.
Or are you trading Judkins and Tet for James Cook?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No.
That's a lot. That's a lot for James Cook, who we've seen be volatile at times.
Judkins.
And your team is set,
the
brother.
matchups are
JSN,
good.
Rice, Jefferson. I don't think you have enough in the running back. I think you have enough in the running back room with JCM and Judkins and Les Tootin.
Yeah.
Les
JCM
Tootin,
has been a little pain in the ass here, but
yeah, he's a touchdown dependent volume back that relies on efficiency.
Yeah, falling off a Cliff Kingsbury once again, but injuries are a factor for sure.
Well, he's been doing that since Texas Tech, so I know. That's
why I call him fall off a Cliff Kingsbury.
First 8 weeks of a season, 7 weeks, that guy is unreal. But this is the same guy that in a Patrick Mahomes offense.
If I was Cliff Kingsbury, I would retire. I'd be too embarrassed for not being able to sustain success. I'd say, you know what? This is not for me. I retire. Good night, everybody. But anyways, I'm sure he likes money. But see, I'd rather not get the money and not be humiliated than get the money. But that's neither here nor there. That's just me. But this week against New England will be tough for Judkins. But maybe volume, but probably not. But then you got the bye. But then Jets are good. They're tough on the run, but you're getting volume there. Ravens, hard to say, but certainly not scary. Raiders should be good. San Fran is kind of middling. Tennessee, you should get volume. Week 15, Chicago, he'll kill Chicago. And then week 16, Buffalo, their run defense has been suspect all year. So I think Judkins is going to be more than fine.
Yeah, and it's getting rid of Tet for me. That is definitely a problem, right? James Cook came out, had the 4 straight 20-plus week game. There are 20-point games in 4 straight weeks by week. Then he gets a nice matchup against Carolina. He does get Miami, which is like James Cook could score 30 points against Miami, but Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Houston's tough, Pittsburgh's tough.
Yeah, that's not great. It's a little spotty.
And then Cleveland, Philly in the championship week. So definitely something to keep a look on right now. I'm not doing this trade at the moment. You do have wide receiver depth, so I like that angle. I would be looking to do that, but I'm not looking to move Judkins. If you could do Tet and JCM for something, I think that would be a
when I get my hands on a guy like that with Judkins, like a rookie, very young, kicking ass, big time role. Like I'm clinging to that puppy. I'm rolling with that.
I think he's legitimately and quite possibly just another Nick Chubb for them, which a better one,
more explosive and more versatile.
Could be, definitely could be. For sure. They got another one. And when Stefanski has that running back, you'll ride that puppy till daylight. Paulie says Philadelphia wide receivers are killing me. What do we do with them? Obviously referring to the fact that they go dormant for how long? Then they have the big massive blow up against a Vikings defense that for some reason decided they weren't going to cover anybody downfield for once. So what are you doing, Guru? Do you believe in the new Philadelphia philosophy, or are you hesitant?
You know, I've been a little up and down on this thing all year, quite frankly, and it's a really hard call. It really is. My boy, Jeff Schaefer, from the guy who created the league on FX, him and his wife, Jackie, I still chat with him on the regular, and I normally say I have karma with people. There are people where, not the name drop or anything, but Paul Rudd, like if he asks me a question, some reason I'm like 50% maybe, but with Jeff, I'm like 80% for whatever reason. But he asked me this past week about starting someone else over AJ Brown. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go with the other guy. I can't remember who it was. So then I concluded that AJ Brown might be the hardest receiver to evaluate and handicap on a weekly basis in 2025. That said, end of the day, Hurts is still throwing it downfield with very good accuracy, and they can't run the damn ball. So I'm going to have to lean toward the positive, that they can't run the ball, which hurts their offense, but still they can't run the ball.
Yep, absolutely. It sucks. Because I think Barkley looks great. But I don't know. There's something not clicking there in Philly for that reason. But I'm inclined to agree.
By the way, I'm doing a little low key experiment this week.
Oh,
because I have, and I'm not complaining, I'm not whining, but it is true. I'm telling you, it's true. I have no luck in this game, and it's always been the case. I'm telling you, it's always been the case. It kind of got me annoyed because I'm like, can I catch a break here? Like my first league, I led the league in points, not even remotely close to the playoffs. 1 year, it took me 7 years to break through in my league. It took 7 years, and I was arguably the best manager from literally day one. So to that point, this is one of the reasons why I don't really like to go in on high-end players because the numbers are high, and I'm like, I don't have the luck to get to this number, and especially unders, because if I do an under on a high-end player with a bad matchup, he will rip off a big play. So I've lost 2 weeks in a row Barkley props on the overs on rushing. So for spite and an experiment, I'm taking the under this week, and I almost guarantee that he will go over. It's like a bizarro under. But I don't want to mention it in the article because then I'll curse the mojo. But mark my words, if you go to the my picks and I officially go in on the under, he will go over. And I'm just doing it to prove a point. It's just the universe and yours truly, because football and the NFL and fantasy has been very, very good to me. But the universe knows that, and they're like, let's make it harder on this guy. I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's how I got really good, because I was sick and tired of losing, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure this crap out because I have no luck, so I have to create my own luck, basically, which is kind of what I've done. But just saying.
Yeah, you got to post that one, Guru. That's an unbelievable history of that happening. Mark Farmer dropped us. Better pick up for a 3-4 team in a 10-man half-point PPR. Tez Johnson, Mooney, Boutte, Leggett, or Keon Coleman.
It's a great question.
Phenomenal.
And I've looked at Mooney obviously Mooney is one of my guys. Always over on Mooney. And I have listed him as a player to trade for. I did it like 3-4 weeks ago. And I'm like, look, proven young, big play receivers who have a huge role, they don't grow on trees, guys. So let's get them. That said, I think I'm going Tez. I mean, Tez is balling.
He is. And the offense is so good.
Tez has been great, and I like the personality. I like the whole thing where he thought they were chanting MVP for him, and then they do a whole. I mean, that was great. I mean, I wrote that last week in the waiver wire. I'm like, hey, I don't know what this guy's role is going to be in a month, but for now, you're out there balling with Baker. I'm in now, and not only that, Baker had his worst game in 2 years on Monday. Yet Tez still got it done.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Tez is definitely the guy for me.
By the way, one other story on that lack of luck. In my local league where I started playing fantasy, we did head-to-head. So there was no playoffs. It was head-to-head the whole season. Best record won the league, period. That's it. And if it was a tie, it came down to total points. 1 year it happened. We're talking over 1,100 points scored on the season. Going into the finale with my nemesis, we're tied. Fuad Revez kicked like 7 field goals for this guy. I lost the entire season by 7 points, thanks to Fuad Revez's 7 field goals in the last game of the season. So that tells you right there, like that's a good example. Like I kick ass the entire year and I come up 4 points out of 1,100 plus shy. So no luck for this guy. So I have to make my own.
Yeah, for sure. Tommy's dropped the 4 and I said, I have both May and Dart. Lucky you. In a 1 QB, hold both or trade one over the other.
I would trade Dart. I don't buy it. I'm not buying this. This is one of the worst receiving cores in the league. Yeah, he's running, and that I buy that, but I'm not buying that we're going to continue to be the cheat codey guy and augment the rushing production with steady receiving production, unless they make a trade for a wide receiver. By the way, I'd flip Dart.
I would flip Dart in a 1 QB redraft just because you don't need two unless something drastic happens. And even if they did, you'd probably be like Drake May is so good that if you lose him for the season, it doesn't matter who's available on waiver wire because you're just not getting the same thing for the most part.
True.
I would trade Dart just because you don't need two Drake Mays. You don't need two Jackson Darts. You made the right call.
You're never playing Dart over May.
Correct. So you don't need this. You can use this to go boost a position of strength.
The only bad thing about May is he's got that week 14 bye.
That is true. You do have to look for that, but that's where I go search that waiver wire. There might be somebody there for 1 week. That's also why I am a team go get the bye. Like I am hashtag do what you have to do to get a bye week in fantasy football. Yeah. Statistically speaking, teams that make the bye week are like 68% more likely to make it to the championship game. So the bye weeks matter so much. By the way, I'm doing a study on that again. I'm hopefully I'll have some data on that. But I actually got some fun stuff going. We're going to do a study on that, and then we are going to I have a study going on right now, Guru, for rookies and which rookies were actually impactful by ADP by taking standings from over 1,000 leagues that I have gone and got the data from. So it's a fun little study. Can't wait to break that out. Gonna be good. Yeah. Give us a real good deep dive on this rookie class. But
I was looking at some streaming quarterbacks for week 14, by the way. The Viking quarterback, but at this point, I am wondering if they're just protecting McCarthy. I'm reading the tea leaves. The Vikings seem deflated and not as energetic. And at this point, I'm starting to think that they know that McCarthy's not ready. Now, before we start throwing JJ McCarthy in the trash, let's not forget what we've seen transpire in the NFL over the last half decade with guys like Sam Darnold. Well, if we're throwing JJ in the trash after 2 games, then we're just dumb. Then we are in idiocracy era, okay? Because it is hardly over for JJ McCarthy, but right now for this year, it's just not looking good.
Well, do you remember I believe it was the first show we did? And also when you were on Dynasty Points with us, we said, how long? Like, how long do we panic in season? And I said 8 weeks.
Right.
Well, we're at 8 weeks. But
we are. We're at 2 weeks, though, of playing.
Now we're cooked. Right. But I'm saying, like, if by week 8, we could kind of see, and you've got that vibe, to me, that kind of confirms my view of it for this year. However, I am circling the Baltimore-Chicago 2-game schedule. If Baltimore's defense continues to be woeful, Chicago's defense is woeful. Get them through LA, get them through Detroit. I'm circling Baltimore, Chicago. And then you get, obviously there's Green Bay, but Seattle, but then Washington, then Dallas, then the Giants. There is a little bit of a run there potentially towards the end of the year. We'll see if they're in or out because Wentz is terrible.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think really hard about, like, the way I do things is I have all the information in my head that you have, everyone has. Like, if we're following all of us, we know everything. I'm like, okay, we know everything. Can I conjure up images of JJ McCarthy balling? That's it. Like, it may sound a little weird, but I always give the example of Jonathan Taylor. When he joined the Colts that summer, I just have all these visions of them feeding him the ball, and then he rips off these long runs in the second half of the season. That's exactly what happened. But and I'm still not there yet, but I will say this. This year is going to be a very difficult call, but I still do believe that JJ McCarthy will be very good in this offense. I think he needs to get through some sort of mental hurdle. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's processing. I don't know what it is. Confidence. I don't know. But I still would be floored if in a year he's a bust, honestly. I mean, Wentz has been craptastic, and he's still not that bad for fantasy.
Right. Yeah, and yeah, this is just one of those things. Patience, quarterbacks. We've been spoiled. Who knows? He played a great one half of
How about
football
this,
and
though?
lost the next. So
How
we'll
about
see.
this though? Buy low in Dynasty.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, for sure, 100%. He is the poster boy for that. I'm wondering too. They come out of the bye week, you get Philadelphia, and then immediately turn around short week with LA.
I mean, it's like, but and not to make excuses, but I really respect Troy Aikman, his opinion in general. You know, I followed his entire career, even at UCLA. He's like 2 years older than me. He said, by the way, he also said Monday night that the Lions' performance was the best defensive performance he's ever seen. Grading on a curve with all those DBs out. But he said all summer that he thought J.J. McCarthy had the most pressure on him of all 32 scheduled starting quarterbacks in the NFL. And he was right. And then you open Monday Night Football, then you go Sunday Night Football, then you get hurt, and you're like, oh, can we return? Oh, who we got? The world champions. Okay, how about next week? Nationally televised game. It's like, can this poor guy get a beatable opponent on like a rando 1 p.m. kickoff game? The answer is no. So it's just like not happening right now. I mean, maybe it is confidence and pressure and all that.
Could be. Yeah, remember, quarterback is a tough position to play, man. So
yeah,
I think we've been spoiled. I mean, I think it's kind of why look at guys like Jacoby Brissett, who just viewed as terrible. He's viewed as bad, has been a journeyman to a backup, comes in and is immediately better than Kyler Murray for fantasy because he can process an offense a little bit better. Not a little bit, a lot better.
Yeah.
It's I think college football, and I'm not a hashtag film guy, and I've made the same joke on Dynasty Points all the time. There's only one entity in the universe that can scout quarterbacks accurately, and it's God. The rest of us, we're just guessing. We're making our best guess based the best information. There's too many intangibles. There's too many things we don't understand. Hell, I've played quarterback for years. Still have no idea how to judge somebody else's ability to do it.
Wow.
So
that's not something I ever did. I was always a receiver because my arm sucked.
Well, I was a backup. I played everything from running back to receiver to DB to quarter. I played quarter, whatever. But like even just sitting back there and trying to process football at a low level and how hard that is.
Yeah.
So
look at Baker Mayfield. Mayfield. I mean, that's the best one. That might be the best one. And the man's career was in the toilet. Along with Darnold, they were on, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, I'm not giving up on.
He came in after 3 days.
Yeah.
And won a game with LA. That's insane.
By the way, not always, but we often do see immediate success with these cheat code college game prepared guys.
Yeah.
But what happens when the sample size increases? They get worse. Jane Daniels has been worse. Bo Nix has been worse. You know, the list goes on and on and on. So maybe CJ Stroud's been worse. So maybe JJ McCarthy is going to actually have a normal traditional ascension like a Peyton Manning who led the NFL in interceptions. Like maybe he's not going to be great, but then when he does turn the corner in year 2 or 3, let's say, then he doesn't regress. And then now we're good. So I'm still not giving up on JJ, but what else do we have question-wise? We're rambling a little bit this morning.
I know week 7 took a lot out of us.
Yes, it did.
We're having a good time here. Hopefully you guys are too.
We need some emotional boosting, I guess.
Yes, a little bit. Walk Daddy with the 499 was offered Bijan for Justin Jefferson and Trey McBride. I just snagged Gadsden off waivers, and my other wide receivers are Rice, Zay, Garrett Wilson, Pearsall, and Debo. That is an expensive price to pay for Bijan.
Right. So he's got.
But what do you say, Guru?
We're gonna go. So, but it's a little. I mean, if you got Gadsden, it is interesting because I did put in the trade article, I think. I wouldn't mind picking up Gadsden and flipping them, or maybe flipping my current starter and rolling with Gadsden. So let's think about this. So your RB, but who is his current RBs? That's really the
he
question.
didn't say. Bree. His RBs look like Brees and Scatabo and Hendo. I think you're okay. I don't
Good
think
drafting, by the way, walked out.
Great.
Overall.
Great drafting. I don't think you have to do that.
Yeah. I mean, JJ's been more than fine. I'm just looking at Reishi. If I had JJ and Reishi, I might be a little bit more inclined to do this because I already have. I could trade away Justin Jefferson and still have a one. Yeah, that is pretty good. I think I might do it.
Okay.
I think I'm going to do it.
I mean, Bijan does get Miami this week, so if you want to win.
I mean, Bijan, he came up a little small last week, but
but it's Miami.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
That's gonna be insane.
By the way, even if Gadsden falls away, guess what? Every team sucks covering tight ends.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of good tight ends. This is tight end week, by the way.
And
1999.
1999 for Man said, I orphaned a team. Shout out to you. As an orphan, we appreciate people that take on orphans here in Dynasty. It has May and Allen. Should I trade Allen? Do you think I can get 2 first rounds in a 1 quarterback FFPC at the end of the season? Maybe target a playoff team. The QB lost that their QB lost it for him. That was a tough read for me. Yeah. Look, there's a reason why in my Twitter profile it says can't read or write, can't read or tell time. So that's why. But I mean, I would look in a 1 quarterback. You only need 1. I like Drake May. Trade whichever quarterback nets you more, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's only a 1 quarter.
1 quarterback.
I mean, small sample and all that, but unlike Allen, I think that Drake May might evolve into a better pocket quarterback than Allen's been. Because I still don't think Allen is wonderful in that regard. He could certainly win from the pocket, but I do think that and I haven't checked the film this year, but in very recent years, he has still leaving plays on the field. I mean, maybe May is too, but I like it. I definitely like it. When I didn't meet May. I was around him, and I'm just throwing it out there where my vibe was. And I'm like, okay, what's the vibe? What am I feeling here? And my vibe I got athletic Peyton Manning in that he is kind of an old school, old soul kind of, just a gamer guy. Like he's kind of old fashioned. There's something old fashioned about him. I mean, he's got older brothers and all that. So I definitely, when he talked about football, he reminded me kind of in an aw shucks kind of way. Like he really reminded me of Peyton Manning and, obviously a lot more athletic. So that was my thought. I'm like, this guy could be a more athletic kind of Peyton Manning-esque kind of a guy. I think it's kind of been what he's been this year.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. That's a good way to look at it too. I'm looking through here. Someone said Henderson is in the panic chamber. Yes, absolutely he is.
And by the way, I don't think he's ever going to be an elite distributor of the ball and processor and diagnoser of defenses like Peyton Manning, because that's like, he's like on the Mount Rushmore of that. But just a guy that you're never worried about, like his mindset. He's got amnesia. Like he's been trained pretty well. Like I don't think he's ever going to get into like a big time funk or anything like that. I always said about Eli, by the way, he's like a robot. He has amnesia. He'll throw a pick and he degaff. Doesn't matter, which is great, which is what you want.
We've got Grim Stars, Mariota, Wentz, or Mac Jones for this week.
I mean, What's the outlook on Jaden Daniels?
I don't think he's playing this week.
Yeah. So, and then of course I'm going Mariota. Because we are likely getting back DK or Debo
Mm-hmm.
and McLaurin. And yeah, it is a tough matchup against KC, but I'd probably go Mariota. Like he'll run in this game. Like he will run, and he's going to have the weapons. He'll. I mean, maybe there's downside to it, but I think I go Mariota over Wentz.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Jamie wants to know in a half PPR, should you trade Bowers for James Cook? He said he's desperate for a running back.
Oh man. Well, it's not a bad thought if you've been working the waiver wire and you picked up Gadsden or Mason Taylor, or how about my guy Dalton Schultz? You know, I ranked Dalton Schultz 100 places over his ADP, Thomas. I didn't like Dalton Schultz, but I'm like, what the hell is people thinking here? Like, no one cares about Dalton Schultz. I said it a lot this summer, like no one cares. Right now he's on pace to catch 90 balls. Doesn't score. But yeah, I that's okay, because A, the quarterback situation is never going to be good this year. And B, his knee may never be totally right this year. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I agree. Just an absolute shame with the Brock Bowers scenario.
By the way, I updated Dynasty rankings yesterday. Full update for my rankings, and I moved Bowers to 3. Sorry.
So you have Warren 2, yes. McBride 1?
Yep.
I think I still have Bowers 1, McBride 2, Warren 3, but I definitely see a world. Geno, man, has been so bad. So can they get out of that contract?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm gonna you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the next question up and then I'm gonna look.
Okay.
Scratch Your Attic says PPR trade Gibbs for Dak and Kyron Williams.
Jahmyr Gibbs for Dak. I mean, Kyron is little infuriating. I can't do it. So you're trading Gibbs for Kyron Williams and DK Metcalf. I want to get something a little bit better.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade Jahmyr Gibbs. He's unbelievable.
It's insane.
Mark needs to know May or Dak this week for week 8.
Still working through everything.
Of course.
Let's take a look here at my preliminary information. May, it's a tough matchup on the ground against Cleveland. It is we're going May. It looks like it's an early look at it. A good schematic matchup. Single high. Oh my God. How about this? Oh my goodness. He averages 10 yards per attempt against single high. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous.
We're going May.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous. Ryan Murray asks 12-team PPR RBs, CMC, HN, Gene T, Rice, Olave, Ladd, Golden, quarterback Hurts, and then McBride. Brother. Oh, he says he's 5-2. No kidding.
Yeah.
Do I stand pat or look to upgrade at wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean,
you could.
Yeah.
Would you consider moving like a Gene T or an HN to get that done, considering we don't know what's going to happen in Miami with HN? I mean, if Quinn Ewers ends up being the starter for a few weeks, I mean, that kind of nukes HN a little bit, I imagine.
I was pretty adamant on trading Genty last week in my article. But that window closed a little bit, didn't it? Dude ran for like 22 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can get by with this, but do you love Ladd? Ladd, generally speaking, is a good 3. And by the way, I like him tomorrow night to at least hit his prop, 55.5.
Yeah, Ladd.
But you do feel like you could do a little better if you're looking to accumulate, form a juggernaut. So yeah, I definitely Genty, but that would be tough. So for if it's HN, right? What are you getting back for HN? I think it's got to be, like Justin Jefferson, Puka, I don't even think I'm doing Brian Thomas for HN. Maybe Drake London, maybe.
I think you're looking for, because again, we talked about this is obviously redraft, I imagine. So I'm looking for a player that doesn't have a sexy name but can produce, and you get a little bit something on top of that. So how about a Devontae Adams plus? He can score like a wide receiver one on any given week. You think you're right with the Justin Jefferson on a coming off a down week, but he has that name pop. He has that.
Yeah,
how about Keenan Allen and a significant plus? How about some other guys that can just score? Cortland Sutton and a plus. Players that score like a one but don't have the name of a one and allow you to add on somewhere else, because you might want another running back to help back up. So you don't want to completely deplete yourself there at all. Shout out to you. That's a hell of a team.
Good job.
Hell of a team. And then Rob wants to know, would you trade Bowers for Kittle straight up? I would. I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I would. I think this week was just a classic Shanahan lying to media about snaps and everything like that. I don't think Kittle even played poorly. I think he was just not the focal point. I'm back to all in on George Kittle. Getting back to the Geno stuff, brother. He has a 18.5 dead cap in 2026, but he has a 0 dead cap in 2027. He is not playing quarterback for the Raiders in 2027.
Oh, hell no.
No, he has an 18 dead cap, a 26.5 full cap. He could easily be a $26 million backup. We've seen NFL teams do that before.
Not to mention with Kittle, like even if the quarterback is down, the starter, Brock Purdy, you have a great backup. You have 0 good quarterbacks in Vegas. You have 2 in San Fran.
I think Mr. Mac Jones is going to be making his way to Vegas next year.
I wish McCorkle were still in Jacksonville throwing it to Brian Thomas.
God. His agent did him a disservice giving him a 2-year contract. Like in an era of backup quarterbacks getting opportunities in other places, locking your guy into a 2-year deal with the team, just taking the security, I think is malpractice by that agent, not getting a buyout, not getting an opt-out, not figuring something like that out.
If he just looked at the landing spot as being so damn good,
could be
that his client can only help himself there, and he has.
Well, they could trade him.
Yeah.
They could trade him for like a 5th round pick.
But the shame of it is McCorkle is from Jacksonville.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. I mean, the area. He's from Northern Florida.
His cap is so low that he has a 2.7 dead cap. If they get a 5th round pick for Mac Jones, I think he's gone. So I believe he could be a Raider next season. I truly believe that.
Jacksonville. He was born in Jacksonville. That's why he went there, basically, to the Jags.
And then Gator Boy Vid says Jaden Daniels out, best backup, Mariota, Wentz, Tyrod, Rogers, or waited out to see if Kirk Cousins plays for Penix. I think I like your initial call of Mariota. What say you?
Yeah, I'm going Mariota. I mean, last week wasn't good, but he has been pretty good in the time that he's played in this offense. He has been productive. If you look at all the quarters, whatever number of quarters he's played, he has been productive. We're getting McLaurin back and Debo, and he'll run. Mariota has been a kind of a disaster, but at this stage of his career, I kind of trust him. If he's going to make the full start, is that it just came down the line that Daniels has been ruled out?
I don't think it's confirmed yet, but I think they're leaning pretty heavily on him sitting.
It's like Njoku may go today.
It says, uncertain. Don't believe he practiced yesterday. So they said, quote, not concerned long term, but and it's Kansas City this week. I mean,
well, we do need to wrap this puppy up here.
Yes,
so
sir.
What else do we have?
Greg wants to know if there's any news on Bucky. Not that I have heard.
No. I think it's week to week now. Like it could be back at practice this week. But nothing.
someone to keep an eye on for sure and be poking around for. Some people might be impatient, and you should capitalize on that. Okay, that's it for the new ones here, Guru. So
Okay.
we can wrap, we can
All
jet.
right. Yeah, we talked a little bit too much, but it was another good AM hang here.
That's right.
Look, all we're looking to do is help you get through your day and waste your corporate America employers' money. Basically, that's what I'm into. And we'll wrap on that note. Good luck to your Blue Jays.
Thank you. Yes.
1 week from today, when we reconvene, this puppy will it be over? Maybe not.
Okay, let's not go crazy. We got the Friday, Saturday game, okay, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if we lose in 5, I will be upset. All right, we have to at least do better than the Yankees.
So if if 1 week from today the Dodgers have won the World Series, that would mean they swept, which they won't sweep. I don't think they'll sweep. So we'll still be talking next week.
I hope so. I really do. I'll be sad. Cannot do worse than the Yankees. I can't let their Twitter fandom have that win over us.
For Tommy T-Bone, I'm John Hansen. This has been the Week 8 edition of Hump Day with Hansen. Thanks for tuning in. Stay subscribed and dialed in to all the feeds and articles, and we'll catch you on the flippy.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.